with CJ and Jester.
Morning, Grenada, Carriacou, Petite Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, and all those of you listening to Take 5 with CJ and Jester. It is Tuesday, December 31st, almost the end of another year of 2024, heading into 2025. And let me also say good morning to my guest, besides Jester. Good morning to you, sir, and how are you?
Good morning.
Good, doing fine. That's good. Are you going to stay where you are?
Well, my name is Oxley John. I am from Riverside in St. Patrick's. I'm a past student of the McDonald College.
Mm.
I'm a police officer, has been now for 36 years. And I'm the author of two books. And
See,
yeah, that's who I am in a nutshell.
that's who he is in a nutshell. Justin, who are you again?
I don't think that name needed such more introduction.
Oh, I see. Okay. So we are on this morning and it is take 5. And as you know, we always come bring whatever we can to the people. Even though we help half of a person, as I always say, half of the brain cell that is working, we are good to go. So, anything exciting, Justin? Don't make it too long now because we have a lot to cover.
No, I mean, you are the I mean, expecting you.
Nothing exciting. Same old, same old. Anything exciting on your end, sir?
Not really, just the fact that we're on the verge of a new year. And I guess people might be wondering what the new year holds for us, but nothing really exciting to say.
Always say we make the new year as is. Whether it is old or one, it's up to us. I think we have our prayer coming in, so let's say, good morning to you, and how are you? Kenro,
Hello, hello, good morning.
good morning. Go right ahead.
Yes, this morning to just and morning to the nation.
Good morning to you,
Morning, Lord.
Kenu.
Father, Lord, I helping you, but only. And Father, we thank you for life, for health, for strength. We thank you for ending all the whole year, this our blessed Lord. Father, we thank you for strength, for peace, for unity. Father, for the coming year, this our Lord. We ask you for peace. We ask you for health. We ask you for strength. We ask you for endurance. We ask you for unity. We ask you for love. This our blessed Lord. What could I tell you this morning, blessed Lord? When you know what I want to tell you this our Lord. But I pass by the country. Remember Grenada, remember Calicut. Wait, what are the rest of the Eastern Caribbean? What are the whole world is in on this morning? Look down upon each and every one of you children. We are your sheep in the pasture, in each and every one of us by our different vices. But this our blessed Lord. Cover all you children, this our blessed Lord. Save us from shame and disgrace, from disaster, this our Lord. Father God, I bring the Prime Minister before you. Mali, but you said, what could I tell you? When you are the maker of human, you know everything concerning him. Remember his ministers, Lord, each and every one of them, I bring them before you, the opposition party. Remember Dr. Kid by name and by number. Reach out and touch me if thou be so pleased. Remember, his ministers is in your hand. Father God, remember Grenada land, this our blessed Lord. But I take it in charge if thou be so pleased. But I remember our country, Lord. Pass by every police station, this our blessed Lord. But I those on duty and those out of duty. Remember the SSU, not forgetting the RRU, this our Lord. But at the boat on the ocean. Remember the fishermen, help them to have a catch, this our Lord. Remember the coast guard, I bring them before you. But our Lord, in the going, you go with them, in the remaining, remain with them. When they're about to come back, please, Jesus, we ask you that favor. Bring them back safe and sound. The boat on the ocean again, remember the plane in the air. But the sick and afflicted one, those that cannot help themselves, those on the bed of affliction. Father, the nurses and the doctors pass by the hospital, reach out and touch each and every one of them this hour, blessed Lord. My God, those who are lying on the bed of affliction, remember them this morning, Lord. Father, pass by the workers. Father, the staff I bring before you from in the hospital, Lord. Father, all workers here and everywhere, I bring them before you this hour, Lord. Father, teach them to love and to unite and to understand each other. Father, unity and peace this hour, blessed Lord, my God and my King. You know what I want to tell you concerning us this hour, Lord. I know you is not deaf to hear me when I calling you. Either your eyes is not blind to what is down below. Your feet is not to shut to meet all your children have the way. You say, rock of ages, cleft water, and we hide ourselves in thee this morning, Lord. I bring all those talking in the radio station before you, Lord. You know them by the name and you know them by the number. But I teach them to love and to unite and to understand. Let one cry be the other one cry this hour, Lord. Bind them together like one bundle of stick that cannot be broken. Father God, take them in charge. Take the home in charge. The offspring of the body who have, who don't have. Bring them before you this hour, blessed Lord, my God and my King. Not forgetting CJ, not forgetting Jester. Look down upon them this hour, blessed Lord. Take them just as they are without one pleading or kind care. Remember those children, blessed Lord. Here and everywhere. The youth I bring before you, save them from shame and disgrace. In a time like now, the activity, Lord. Save them from the hands of the policemen, my God and my King. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in the green pasture. He leadeth me beside still water, he stirreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, do I walk to the valley to the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. But thou hast made thy rod and thy staff to comfort me. Thou prepare my table before me in the presence of my enemy. Thou anointest my with all my companions over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow all your children, Jesus, all the days of their life. This our Lord. I want to thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
Amen. I think I cut off accidentally. Yes. So I mean, when Keno prays, like you just do something to your soul, you know, like you feel what she's saying and you hear what she's saying. Really, really good. So thank you so much, Keno, if you're listening. And my finger hit wrong button on the phone there. That's what happened. It happens sometimes. But let me say good morning to those of you who are already online. First of all, let me say good morning to Mr. Williams from 107.5 WiBS Grenada FM. Good morning to Spice Ram, which is 94.9 in New York City. Good morning to Lorna Bain, she's already online. Mary Olavachi Bongiorno. Good morning to Marlon Klein. Coffee in the morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to Marilyn, to Faithful Hallie Douglas. Bernadette Abraham, good morning. Daphne Dayton family out there in Toronto. Good morning to the I'm not going to say the Glenn family. You're going to do that yourself, just Mary out there in Tio. Good morning. Junior on the hill in Granderton. Good morning to you. Alban Harris out there in New York. Duchess. Good morning. Dana Sandy. Trisha Garnet. Mr. Nicholas Snag, good morning to you. Kenro, good morning again. Good morning to Pat Pear, William Pear, and Michael Pear. Good morning to SBW, wherever you are and enjoying yourself. Good morning to my dear friend Buddy in the lane over there in the track. Antonia Francois, good morning to you. The Cashew Tree Crew, good morning. Paula, Sharon, Mama B, good morning. Anne Bernard and Radio Man. Good morning to Pat, Augustine Belfon out there in New York, Sherry in Maryland, and Wendy in Toronto. Good morning to each and every one of you. And you just go ahead with your good morning to your people.
Good morning to the Hill Street people and the Robinson family and Hill Street. Special good morning. Good morning to the Glenn family out there in Boston. Yeah, it might be very cool nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gordon Bushes Richardson. Yeah, Alistair, Aito Dubois, Winted John, Andy Moose Bartholomew. Yeah, these are some that could come to mind immediately. Oh, Claire.
Oh, yes, I was waiting. I was waiting to hear if you're going to remember Claire, my namesake, not me Sunday morning to the other Claire down the road. So, yes. Jenny Mason, good morning. She's checking in. She says, good morning to you, Jester.
Yeah, good morning to you, Jenny.
Jenny, easy and telling him good morning now, easy. You want to take all my friends away from me, you know, I don't know what's going on with him, but
Such a jealous girl.
me, no. Listen, I tell you already, you could be friends with them, but you just cannot take them away from you. No, that's it.
My gosh.
And let me also say good morning to Annie and Archer. They're listening. And good morning to Raymond Courtney, wherever you are and
Did you
whatever you
call
are.
Sherry?
Yes, I did. Sherry in Maryland.
Sherry St. John.
In Maryland, yes. Yes, the peeps. Chance the game. Mary just checked in, you see? And he's saying Happy New Year to you all. Yes. Oh, Jenny said it's okay that you be friends with her. I like you again. Thanks, Jen. Did you go for your walkers yet? Remember, call this morning. We need the calls to let us know that you are listening and what you think about the program that we're going to be talking about this morning. And as we're doing Why Do Men Suffer in Silence 2.0? So the next part of it, which is part 2, is why are younger men presenting with fertile disorder? Erectile disorder. That's ED. And how does it affect them mentally? So they start off with 3 key points on the Jester. Rates of younger men reporting ED are rising due to performance anxiety and stress impacting their sexual performance. Erectile dysfunction affects every aspect of a man's life: his physical, mental, and relation, relational health, and rates of ED are rising. ED in young men can be consequence of combination of organic, psychological, and relational factors. Anybody taking me up on them? Is that true? What's going on with the younger men these days?
I'll let Loxley go first than that. Or especially invited guests.
It's a subject that is rarely discussed, and but it is one that is real.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard even doctors um, s- talked about the amount of young men who visit their offices and complaining of not being able to have an erection.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it is it has a kind of stigma to it, really. Um, how does a young man just go out and tell somebody that he's having problem in that area? And so it is something that is really spoken about. But I think uh, discussions on a matter like this can actually um, bring help to those who are suffering from such a problem.
But let's be really realistic. If really and truly a young man has that problem, do you think that you really want to open up such? Because some back it would look like it's embarrassing to him. It's when you come to think about it, how would you will see people looking at him? So maybe the most he might want to do just visit his doctor on a personal basis, and that's where he believe or he would like the story to begin and end. Oh wait, it's like the whole thing.
You see, the problem here is that um, sometimes the problem is not a physical one, and sometimes going to a doctor, um, you do not really, may not necessarily get help if it is not a physical one. Um, and that's where another person besides a medical doctor should be able to give some help where this is concerned. It could be a psychological issue, and the danger is that if you have a psychological issue and you are trying to take these kind of medications that are being prescribed, this can, compound the problem. So, and even just some people even have difficulty telling certain things to their own doctors.
Okay. We are going to get there. It's getting very interesting as it is already. Here it says many people do not realize that erectile disorder, the inability to achieve or sustain an erection sufficient for intercourse, is extremely common. Today, like today, 1 in every 10 men in the United States experience ED. Men with ED may be unable to get an erection sometimes, be able to get an erection but not keep it long enough for satisfactory sexual intercourse, or never be able to get an erection. To satisfy the diagnosis of erectile disorder in the DSM-5, one must have been having these challenges for at least 6 months and during at least 75% of the past sexual scenarios. So it is not something new, right? And it says erectile disorder can affect every aspect of a man's life, his physical health, his mental health, and his relational health. It affects not only the person with the condition, but their partners also. So hear this. As you said just now, that if a young man is going through that, he's going to be feeling ashamed maybe to tell someone that he's going through that. Okay, that is fair enough. But think about it, if he has a wife or he has a significant other, and that person is also feeling the effects of it because he's not saying anything to that person. Now it's going to be a part where it says, well, he doesn't want me to touch him. I can't do anything. So maybe he's seeing someone else outside there. Whereas he's not seeing anybody at all because of the problem that he's having. So how does that work for you guys? I'm asking, I have men today, so I don't know anything about it. So I bring men. Let's go.
I believe in the case of a situation like that, the man still wouldn't want to open up, whether it's his wife or his significant other, as you have put it, because he will just, I know how he'll feel. He'll feel belittled. He will feel like almost like he has lost his manhood, and it will take him quite a long time before he open up to something like that. I, I, to me, that's how I'm seeing it. I don't know.
You're right, because you're talking about man, you're talking about this is something, this is what makes a man, or,
Yeah.
that a man who cannot have an erection or who has erectile dysfunction will most likely see himself as less than a man. And to discuss that sometimes even with your own partner is not an easy thing to do, especially if you have a partner who is not an understanding one, who doesn't understand that these things happen, and that based on what they say or do to you, they can help the problem or they can make the problem get worse. But it is not an easy thing to talk about.
I understand exactly what you're saying, but it says that it affects the partner also. It's not only you that is going through it. Like one person is sick, the whole is affecting me also. So if you hide it and I do not know about it, how do I feel not knowing what is going on with you in that situation?
I mean, I believe that um, a man cannot hide his
Dysfunction.
dysfunction for very long.
Mm-hmm.
That his partner will discover that something is wrong eventually. I think what is needed is to address the problem and try to find out what is the reason this thing is happening, what is the cause of that. And as I said, if the partner is not understanding and patient, then we can have that situation blowing up into something quite big. So, and this is the reason why men would tend to, instead of discussing this with their partners, and so they try to go out by themselves to find a solution to the problem rather than sitting and discussing this and so.
Well, let me tell you, the comments here are very interesting. Someone said they should stop drinking that strong rum. It's not good for them.
Well, it may not necessarily be that. No, but I'm just saying.
Yes.
Well, you had a comment on it.
Yes. Lorna Bin says he should be open with his wife. They can deal with it together when it is a truly loving relationship. Somebody asked, why you hiding today? So I put you out for them to see because I didn't transition you. They were seeing just me. So you see him today. That's why you look today. So yes, I understand. And you made a very important point where you said that what if the partner is not very understanding? Now, I was having that sort of conversation with another friend of mine, a woman. And I brought it up because, it's a very touchy subject.
Very,
A very, very touchy
very
subject. But as my
ticklish.
friend Nicholas always say, we have to deal with the hard topics. Otherwise, we won't get anywhere with it. And this is a hard
Hard
one.
topic. Yeah,
Hard topic. But it is a topic that we need to talk about.
of course.
Because you're not the only one that's suffering. A lot of wives and girlfriends out there are suffering with erectile dysfunction, not them, but the person that is in their life. So when you make the point that if you have a person that is always going to you not a good person in the sense that supportive, she said to me, and I thought that was very. She says there are some men that treats their wife or their insignificant other terribly they treat them, and when they're going through that they expect the person to be supportive of them. They don't treat the wife or the girlfriend nice and they're all over the place, running as some gigolo all over the place. They have women all over. And when they get sick now, they come home to roost and expect her to understand that this is what's going on with them. And women's mouth is their biggest weapon. They don't want to hear. They will belittle you and tell you they don't want you because you're this and you're that and you can't do this and you can't do that. Now, on the flip side of this, if you have a partner that is supportive of you and say, okay, we are in this together, we will get through this together. You have to know who your partner is in the first place for you to be able to say whether I can say this to her or can't say this to her. Speak up.
Because Claire, the thing about it, you kind of shift the thing a little bit in a sense that you say like
I only respond
he
to.
went around doing things with other people and then after when he
You're
can't
guilty?
come back. No,
I just asking.
no, what I'm saying, we're looking at different reasons as to how that can develop in a man.
As you say, somebody
That's what I'm
said,
saying.
sometimes there are so many ladies involved. So many of the ladies involved.
I know that's your pet. That's where you wanted to go. That's knowing you. That's where you wanted to.
Hmm?
But we'll take it from we'll take it from all angles. Like I normally see Clay when you hear me talk,
Mhm.
a man has two lives.
Two?
Two, yeah, two. That's what I say.
Okay.
So when a man loses his erection, to me, that's his first life what God,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm listening.
That's my kind of philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, well, the other one is when he can't breathe again and he no longer would be here
So,
walking
okay.
around. So my thing is, and in any relationship, right,
Mm-hmm.
it makes up in percentages. And if you ask me, sex carry the heaviest load of that.
Huh?
Well, of course.
To you, though.
Oh my,
But no, I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
let's see what
And if you're going to come in, you go ahead.
But I've already made my point. And
Okay.
then if a man cannot function, right,
Mm-hmm.
to satisfy his partner
Uh-huh.
sexually,
Uh-huh.
that's a huge failure.
Mr. Sir?
Yeah. So you would realize how important this is to us when the Jester says a man has two lives. And the first life is gone when,
You cannot.
right? So you understand the importance of that
Yes, sir.
to any man.
Mm-hmm.
And in some ways, I
You echo his?
agree
Okay.
with Jester. You cannot get away from the fact that the ability to have sex is extremely important to a man. And once a man cannot do that, that sends him into a state of
Emergency?
you know
And the mental, come back, you could just bring it back and bring it back to his mental state. Yeah,
and everything. And
Just bring it back to
you may very well find that sexual dysfunction or erectile dysfunction can trigger a man into drinking excessively, smoking excessively, and doing other foolish things because of that. So it is a very important thing, and that's the reason why the partner must understand that she too has a role to play in this. Now, I understand what you talk about if he's behaving and misbehaving and all that, and I understand that. But if you're going to stay with the man, if you're going to stay with the man with all his faults, why no you can stay with him with that situation?
Well, you see, the thing is, this subject this morning is a very broad subject. Yeah. Now, actually, in the case of uh, a marriage, a relationship of a marriage, right, and especially, let's say, for example, you married quite a few years now. Well,
Mm.
and let's say something like that come and start happening to you, maybe the wife might tend to understand. But for the relationship that is, let's say, just merely the boyfriend girlfriend, man,
But where's the loyalty? There's supposed to be loyalty, Jester.
yeah, you know,
I don't know. I'm asking you because you all came back to the same point that I make. If you do not say to your wife or your girlfriend or your significant other that you're having that problem, how are we supposed to know to help?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right. Even if
Mm-hmm.
the woman knows the
Mm-hmm.
man is having that problem,
Mm-hmm.
how do you comfort a woman who wants to have sex
Uh-huh.
and time after time her partner is not able to have an erection to satisfy it? How do you comfort that
I
woman?
am going to delve into the next to the what this says part of it. You bring it up, so I'm going to. Research has shown that penetration is not all that brings satisfaction to your partner. Research has shown, and it's not me, I didn't have research because I do research, has shown that there are other ways that you can bring your partner to satisfaction sexually than penetration. And I think we lose the big picture of what relationship and sex and so it's all about because everybody's thinking, well, I don't get me wrong, and I'm no man, I don't know that sex is it in a relationship.
I mean,
I just said, let me finish. My mouth still
okay,
moving.
all right.
That this is it. That's all it is. And if you don't have that, then you lose it all. But if research is saying that you can do other things to bring that same person to the point of satisfaction, what is stopping you all men from doing it instead of sitting on moan and my ego and my manhood and my this and my that and so on and so forth? Answer me that question, please.
Claire, let me tell you something, right?
I'm listening.
There are a number of situations where I'm really hungry. Right? I'm talking about physical eating food. You're
Mhm.
really hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But I know already. I've come to eating something. Eat. Even when I'm hungry, so I get something to eat.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what?
You're not
What
satisfied.
I was eating,
Mm-hmm.
it was not, I wasn't enjoying it. So at the end of it, I'm still not satisfied. You understand?
Uh-huh.
Although you don't expect me to be hungry because food went down into my
Belly
intestine.
full.
You understand what I'm telling you?
Yes.
I believe that is
Yeah. Well, no, me. And hold on, ladies. I need you all to call because I'm again one against two here, and I'm holding my point. But call me, please.
Listen, I I believe in relationships. No question of romance and,
Mm-hmm.
and affection and things is important.
Right.
Um, so husbands and wives need to be affectionate one to the other and all this kind of thing. And so, in some instances, a man not being able to have an erection
Mm-hmm.
can be taken off, because there are some women who will tell you that they prefer to be to
To be cuddled and so.
cuddle and thing rather than having sex all the
Mm-hmm.
time,
Mm-hmm.
But again, it goes back to the point. Um, if you have a partner who doesn't understand the situation, even the other aspects that you're talking about wouldn't work. So partners have to have this understanding. Yeah, yeah. And to the point where if you and I have uh, a disagreement, that you don't bring
Show
this
it in
thing
your
up, because
face.
if you bring
Mm-hmm.
this thing up, that's the problem.
You're dead now.
So
Dead.
there needs to be some understanding. So while I understand that the people talk about other ways, we cannot get away from the fact
That is affection manhood.
sex is
The key to the relationship. Okay, here it says, while ED, which is erectile dysfunction, occurs less frequently in younger men, a study of the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that ED affects about 26% of men under the age of 40. That's why we are dealing with it today, younger men. Another study highlighting ED in young men found that 8% of men between the ages of 20 and 29 and 11% of males aged 30 to 39 have some form of ED. So you have a lot of dissatisfied men out there. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. You see, Clay, um, there are some things that men may not want to hear that we have to say.
That's why we're speaking about the hard truth
No
here.
question of people who pay attention to getting adequate sleep. Um, that can affect their body. The whole question of people experiment a lot with this. How you call it? Studs. This thing they talk about.
Let me name it for you. Magnum, Red Bull, Monster, and Viagra mixed with marijuana. All that. And you know, this kills the sex drive even faster than what it is.
Excessive alcohol.
Yes, the excessive, that's what Jenny spoke about.
Drug use and all of that. All these things can affect. And the fact is that a lot of men today still find it difficult to just visit a doctor for an ordinary health check and
Much more that.
so,
You sick, you have one sit down right by you.
But on a serious note,
So I was joking.
no,
I'm joking.
they talking.
First talking to you.
But on a serious note, a lot of men, young men, feel they are of the perception that when you drink a lot of alcohol, you tend to perform better.
Hold that thought, we come into it.
You're gonna get out of the system.
yeah.
I'm
Yes.
telling you.
They
Because I'm
said,
speaking from personal experience.
okay, all right. They said the increasing prevalence of ED in young men is an important phenomenon, particularly because the psychological burden of erectile disorder in young men. Somebody calling, we're taking the call. Good morning.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
You are on take 5, so take 5 and let's have it.
Okay. I believe that a woman would only understand a man going through like erectile dysfunction if only she knows the reason, the main reason, the cause of his demise.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's an interesting
point.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
But let me just
You're jumping.
say Jester is the main breadwinner in the home.
Mm-hmm.
And he loses his job.
Mm-hmm.
And this man is now stressed out. He's no longer able to provide for his family. And so that stress alone can cause this man to have this psychological thing. And that can
Trigger
trigger.
ED.
You understand?
Yeah,
Yes.
So there are a number of reasons.
Okay.
And we may not be able to understand the cause of it from the very onset. You understand? Because as I say, it may very well be a physical thing, or it can just be a psychological thing.
Okay. So let's continue. It says ED has drastically impacted the dating lives of many younger men, many of whom are meeting prospective dates through apps. They may avoid getting started with a new person for fear they will be expected to initiate sexual activity after several dates and then be unable to perform. Some young men are erratically turned on by beginning of the text with potential partner, but at the end up self-pleasing with sexual explicit media or porn rather than asking the person to meet up and risk the embarrassment of misunderstanding that they can follow an episode of ED. So even that, some men prefer to go the internet way and do their do instead of meeting a potential woman to have dates with because of that again of the shame. You mentioned just now that a man loses job and he is the main breadwinner and everything. That is true. How is it different than a woman losing her job? How does it affect her mentally?
Well, it can affect her mentally. I'm not sure. It can also affect her sex life. She may not be interested in sex and whatever. That doesn't take away her ability to have sex. When a man has erectile dysfunction, that takes away his ability to satisfy. Picture yourself in our shoe. I am lying next to you, my wife. I want to have sex with you. I want to satisfy. I want to, and I just can't. And you are lying there looking at the ceiling, and or you may just, or you may just turn your back on me or some kind of. You understand what a man can do?
I mean, I'm not laughing at it's not a joke. I understand, but it's what you tell, what you say. Listen, and listen, you know what? I am so happy that you and I have conversations all the time. And I talk to Mr. Doloxy almost every day we have a conversation. And sometimes we start off with just one thing and we end up in deep, deep conversation. And this is a topic that he and I spoke about. And I said, you know what? You're a man. There are a lot of men out there that are going through what we are talking about, and we need to bring up the hard topic. And so I am so happy that we are doing this today. I'm not doing this to bash men or anything. It's to make men know that there is help out there, and if they only open up to the right people. If you don't want to open up to your wife, who is the dearest person to you, go to the doctor. Because I really, really believe that if you go to the doctor and you say, well, look, I'm having this problem, that the doctor is going to put it on Facebook and say, Jester is having ED or Loxy is having ED. Speak to someone personal. Get it done, because at the end of the day, you're killing yourself even faster than the sex drive that you don't have is killing you.
Let me tell you how hard that is for me.
Tell me.
And I fully believe you should get help. I believe that. But let me just show you how hard this is for a man. I was in Washington one time and I went to the bathroom and was breathing and somehow I felt some, sensation on my scrotum.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't understand that time. When I come from the bathroom, I realized there was some swelling and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I came back to Grenada and I realized, there's a soul.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if something bit me or some kind of thing on my scrotum. And I realized I had to go to the doctor. But I'm sitting there. How can I go and drop my pants?
You born without pants. Just remember, just always say that. Born without pants.
I'm thinking now, should I go to some man? A male doctor, a female?
My goodness.
So this is something that is not easy to
And it's not to get worried too. Next thing you can perform.
Heard not too long ago that a gentleman died because he had an abscess around the same scrotum that you're talking about. And instead of going to the doctor, and so he looked at it after himself, it became sepsis. His system became septic, and he died from that abscess he has. When this could have been avoided, because sometimes you have an abscess, and just all they need to do is to drain out the nastiness that is inside of it to make you get better. But I guess the sensitive area in which it was, he decided that he ain't going by no doctor to see, no doctor to about that. So it let him kill him.
That was a bit really careless.
Yeah,
It is. But it's the same thing that you're talking about, how you're going to drop your pants.
but you have to come to that realization now that you need help.
Yeah.
And so and that's why a program like this will tell men that you're experiencing this thing you need help. Because the problem is some men try to fix it by themselves and they make this situation.
We come in, I'm coming. It says causes of erectile disorder. The most common cause of ED is vascular disease. 64% of difficulty getting and maintaining an erection are associated with heart attacks, and 57% with bypass surgery. Up to 75% of men with diabetes, 40% of men with renal failure, and 30% of men with COPD have experience with erectile disorder. Psychological causes of ED include stress, depression, anxiety, feeling of guilt, low body image, issues in a man's relationship, or sleep disorders. As more young men are affected by erectile disorder, there is an increased risk that a medical doctor may quickly prescribe a PDE5 inhibitor like tadalafil, which is generic Cialis, or sildenafil, which is generic Viagra, or refer them to a sex therapist. However, ED in young men can be the consequence of the combination of organic, psychological, and relational factors, all of which must be addressed in appropriate clinical treatment. In particular, erectile disorder in young men, even more than older men, is considered a harbinger of cardiovascular disease. So, I said it.
Excuse me.
Explain away.
Right. You see, what people don't understand is that to get an erection, it has to do with the kind of blood flow because an erection is about blood, blood flowing through your penis and things that will help you get an erection. If you have problems with blood flow and stuff like that, you most likely will end up having a dysfunction. But let me say this. How many men know about the people, urologists?
Psychologist or the urologist is
Urologists?
the head doctor is the neurologist. What you call those? This one? Did they give a name for it? There's a therapist. Yeah.
But how many men know where to get help? And that's the problem I'm making, that sometimes the medical doctor is not necessarily
The right person to
right
go to.
person to go to. Because sometimes the problem is not a physical one.
It's a mental one.
Because you gave some causes of things that to me had nothing to do with
Right.
physical thing.
Right.
So the idea is being able to find the appropriate person to help us in the situation, and it starts really from the home. It starts with the man and his partner, the man and his wife or his girlfriend, as the case may be, being able to sit and discuss and talk about these things together. Because if the partner is not willing to discuss this thing, we have a problem here. You know, if she don't want to hear, listen, I can't take this thing anymore. I can't take this thing anymore. And if we go down that road, that man is not going to get help, you know. And so there needs to be, it has to start from the home, and we are not living in the 60s, and so we are living in modern times when people are able to get help and so on, and the root causes of erectile dysfunction can be found out and help
Okay.
can be received.
I understand. You made a very important point, Justin, and says that if the partner is not willing to listen, but did you speak to the partner on the onset of that problem that you are having, or you wait till it go out of, as they say, water more than flour now, and you decide to tell her, well, you know, honey, you must have noticed that I ain't doing anything with you these days.
I don't believe you understand
Oh, tell me again.
difficulty to bring up a subject like that. You don't understand the difficulty that a man has to bring up a subject like it is a difficult situation.
Okay.
Difficult. So what we call for here is patience. So when I told you at the very onset, I told you 2 months down the line, the fact is, sweetheart, listen, how do I come and tell you that I'm experiencing erectile dysfunction?
So let me ask you something. You don't think she knows that?
But it's fine. She knows, because I said a man cannot hide it for very long. But if she knows and she is not patient and she is not gentle with her partner, it will just make the problem worse.
You are making the problem worse, and I'll tell you why. I may know that something is wrong. I'm waiting for you to tell me you are the one with the problem, not me.
Why don't you raise it?
Raise it? Me not me that want to raise?
Because it will affect you too.
Yes, but listen, if I have a problem and I have a partner, I will say, hey, this is what I'm going through. Like most of us women go through menopause at a certain age in our life. We all go through menopause, and you all, besides the erectile dysfunction, you all go through andropause also, which is part of the failure of starting to go south. You go through that. This is a normal thing that people will go through. But if I have a problem going through menopause and it's hard for me to have sexual intercourse, I will tell you, hey, that ain't working right now. I'm in pain, I'm in this and that. So let's see how we could work this out. I raise it up because I am the one that is going through it. It's now the question is, are you going to say, okay, well, my wife is going through this. Maybe I should be a little more lenient in how I deal with her. I know that you're going through erectile disorder, but are you telling me Are you willing to discuss it with me? Or are you waiting till, well, I start to behave bad now? And you say, well, no, 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 time for me to tell it. Because, I read a lot, and you always say this.
Behave bad.
I'm behaving bad. Like I don't want to trust you. Don't come by me. Don't do nothing. Don't talk. Behaving bad now because
I just want the listeners and viewers.
yes, I mean I want you to tell me what is going on, and you're not telling me what is going on, and you're waiting for me to say, come and say. If you are going through the problem, just Knox, and I am there, and you can
X or Y.
X or Y.
Okay.
Well, you're not going through a problem, so that's fine. When you're very defensive this morning. When you're very, very defensive this morning. But
That's
listen,
ticklish subject.
it is a ticklish and I'm not tickling you. I'm just speaking. I'm really hard thing.
My batteries.
Okay, I'm saying if you're going through this and you're waiting for me to bring it up, I'm not the one that is going through the problem per se. Although I would be the unbeneficial person of that problem that you're going through. But if you have the confidence in me to tell me that this is going on, you should know me, the person I am, so it could come up as hard as it is. You might turn back and speak and I say, "What you say? You know what? I'm going through what?" And then you tell me, and I say, well, I knew that all along. I'm just waiting for you. And you give this support. But by you holding it to yourself there, and you in your mind know that I know, because come on, you're going to lie down by me, I just become like an ugly duckling or something. You are hot and bothered all the time, and all of a sudden you just go cool like cucumber. Then I know that all is not well in your world. So tell me. I may not be the girlfriend at first, as how it affects you, first of all, to know that, hey, I'm losing my manhood. It's not easy for me to do that. I may not accept it nicely and say, what? You mean none for me anymore? I go like a nun. I ain't getting none, so I turn a nun. You know? It might do that to me for a minute, but when you really think about it, you can find other ways I say to do it, but tell me, by you not saying anything is worse than you holding it there and expect me to bring it up.
But you're implying something there.
I'm not implying anything. Tell me what I'm implying.
You see, it depends too on the kind of relationship that existed
That's what I said.
between the man and the woman.
Yes.
If a relationship is a toxic one, you may find that it is difficult to discuss such an issue. But if there is a relationship where you have love and understanding and partners are communicating with each other and stuff like that, it makes it difficult. But let me tell you, I don't care how good the communication is between people.
It's really a taboo thing, eh?
Discussing your inability to have an erection.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to
It's not an easy
Yeah.
thing.
And it will take a man a little while before he must I tell her no?
And that's the thing. Must I say no? And the longer you stay to tell me, it was for you, you
You
know.
might find some men start making excuses, you know.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
And I come out to work already tired.
So
How
find
tired
all
can you
sorts
be?
of excuses tend to come up.
You were tired. I was there before you weren't tired. Before all of a sudden you start getting tired now.
So
But
it's just how a man would be.
This thing could affect a man on the job.
Yes.
A man could go on the job and thinking, I go home tonight. Let's say, for instance, Jester is it is anniversary or some kind of thing, and I'm going home and so or the wife called and say, I'm trying to make this a romantic night and you know for yourself.
Yeah. Because, you know, imagine she's been premeditated. So, you know what happened, right? And the whole day long.
Drink rum and come home and go and sleep. That's it.
No, but this subject this morning, man, it's so real. You know what I'm saying? It's
I don't know how to say that. I'm not in your shoes, and I cannot put myself in your shoes because I'm not a man, and that's why I brought you in because I know you was going to tell me, Claire, this, that, and that. So I'll give him support this morning, but because I want to really get to the nitty gritty of this and hear what it says here. Another co-occurring sexual disorder though uncommon, is delayed ejaculation or difficulty achieving orgasm despite adequate sexual stimulation. These are the men who can have penetrative sex for 30 minutes to an hour without climaxing. Couples who come in with this problem often express disappointment that they can't get pregnant the normal way, or the partner feels unwanted, or there is too much pain from lengthy penetrative sessions. Over time, a man might begin to lose his erection in anticipation of the disappointment he and his partner will both feel when he cannot climax. So now again, he can't, but he take this kind of medication to give him longevity, and the longevity is not helping him in any way. It's making it worse because our vagina, as is who everybody's know, we are talking real thing here, a real thing, has, well, it's when you are stimulated, you know what happens. But if you're going to have this prolonged penetration and going, it gets dry. And after you're in pain, just as when we are going through menopause, this is what I'm saying, you're in pain. So I'm thinking now he's been selfish because he thinks that, okay, I get her now because I can't. There are days that I can't do it, and I get her erection. I'm going to kill her. I'm going for as long as I possibly can.
Clay, there's a there's a-
No, bring it on yourself. Read it. Read it.
there's a bigger picture.
What is this? Tell me.
You have to understand that society too has, in some ways, presented sex in a wrong
Yes.
to us.
It's a one bang thank you, ma'am thing, and let's move on.
And this kind of stuff. And so a lot of and that's why over the years the education of the sexes have been unbalanced. Men have been left out of discussions like this. We have been left out. A lot of emphasis has been placed on females, educating females and so. All right. And society has taught us that in order to have a good night, a man should be able to last for 30 minutes.
30? 30?
Yes, let me tell you, all you put the pressure.
In what way?
Put the fact is, if we come within 3 or 5 minutes, all you
Your fears.
and all the things, all you
Yeah,
want
it
to
doesn't
last.
feel.
You have not
So-
met all women, have you?
All you put the pressure on us.
So, that.
Yeah,
You, I think you put
generally
pressure on
speaking,
us.
generally speaking, that's what happens.
Yes.
Generally speaking.
So,
Okay, I have to read those comments. Society contributes to this too, like men, whatever. Men may be fearful of going to a male doctor because he may be considered as gay. That's one. Some women hygiene can be a turn off for men so that they get erectile disorder also. And it is not difficult if you are honest with yourself, Mary says. So Mary is saying that, and I'm jumping on that last point. Mary is saying that if you're honest with yourself about what you are going through, then it wouldn't be that hard to tell it to your partner. Because you, in the first place, you're not accepting that this is happening to you. Am I right or am I wrong?
no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say,
Tell me what you
I
say.
would say it's not accepting. I believe not discussing it with my partner is accepting that it is happening. You know, it's just that when I tell you
Mhm.
what happens after I tell you, how do you see me? How do you see me in the scheme of things now? That would you be willing to say, honey, let's go to bed now? Because we're sitting in the living room watching television and we're ready to go. Would you come back and cook now and say, let's go to bed, knowing that I can't do anything? Let me tell you, you have to take all the fine bits and pieces in this thing. All the fine bits and pieces in this thing. So, because remember, the partner will know that something is wrong.
Well, we know a long time.
That something is wrong.
Yes.
I don't understand why we're looking at that as if, well, okay, the family transport of driving it today and a bit in an accident. It's easy for me to come and say, Claire, you know what? Make an accident. It's
Well, it's an accident you have. You have an accident. That is an accident.
But most times, that kind of accident happens with you as the the partner as the other party. So you know.
Maybe I have a hard time coming to think with that. I really and truly, because I'm looking at two men sitting in front of me here. And both of them are telling me the same thing. So that means it's a whole nation of men that is out there refusing to accept that you're having erectile disorder, and then you need to tell the person that is close and near and dear to you.
They may accept it. They will accept it, but to us to disclose just like that, like.
But if you
No,
accept it, then you will disclose.
Yeah,
I'm having a hard. Let me see what some men should learn how to do foreplay so the woman would match their energy. And I 100% agree that, because you see, most men, when they go in, it's just sex on their mind. They're thinking about foreplay because it is research shows that we women take a longer time to get there. So foreplay is imperative. But no, everybody is shooting for the stars with themselves, and they come in, they don't. And for the last 30 minutes when you do that.
I agree with that. I agree for play and I agree with that. Again, I agree with that. But still, you go back to the 30 minutes.
30
Or
minutes?
you just put pressure on us, Clay,
Well, how?
for longevity. Or you don't put pressure on us. So foreplay should act, and I agree with that person that foreplay should take care of that. All right, because when you have foreplay, you bring your partner to that point where she wants you, and
Then you don't have to last 30
then you
minutes.
don't have to go on this
It's
thing
30
like that.
minutes.
Again, this is why education and subjects like this is important to be discussed, because but the question is, who are the person listening to this program, right?
Women and men.
And it may not necessarily be the person who should hear. Because
That's true.
let me tell you, Cliff, a lot of the young fellas you see outside there who are sometimes boasting of their sexual exploits.
They lie.
Can do nothing.
They lie. They lie like rugs, I tell you. Just to make themselves feel macho. And try to put them and like that.
Most of the time you hear them say things like that.
Can do nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. You made a point just now. What was it again? About men are left out of conversations. Now let me tell you this. When you have you have friends, like we women, we don't go through these things that you all go through, eh? Because we have that body system where we talk and see what we are going through. Because you all hide what it is that you're going through. All man afraid to tell a man that they're going through that.
Yes.
You don't have a body
I
system.
mean, why do you expect a man go and tell a man that?
You have
For me to tell Jester that
Uh-huh.
Jester had to be my real
Yeah.
honest.
Correct.
You don't expect me to just jump up
Yeah.
and tell a man what's nobody. I'm going through that. Can tell Jester that some other thing.
You could tell him a friend that you know going through that. That's what you all do.
Tell me to tell a man. Let me tell you, because you know what is the danger in this?
Tell me.
The danger is if I tell Jester, who else is going to know?
Yeah.
And how will I look in the eyes of other people?
Okay, so it's all about what do you call that word again that I'm looking for? It's not that you're going through this that you worry about. It's what other people are going to see when you
Pride.
Pride. Yes.
Yeah. It's an ego thing.
But it's okay. So why is it that men know that we are going through menopause and no big deal is being made about it?
Menopause, sometimes you have covert signs, and so that a woman is going through menopause.
So without covert sign that you're going through erectile dysfunction.
No, I might going to go through erectile dysfunction, not silently. Yeah, people don't know. I could go and walk, boast all kind of thing, and say, nobody don't.
You can't compare the two. The circumstances are quite different.
No, friend.
Quite different.
But no, this is serious because I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, because there are a lot of men and younger men that are really suffering with this. They forget about the old men because they say, well, they're old, they're going home. So it's not about the younger generation that you say that boasting. It's that they could do this, and it's an ego thing. And if we just put the ego aside for a moment, you're all going to be so much better.
Let's take for example a young man, right?
Mhm.
He works very hard. Let's say
Mhm.
he's a laborer. He works very hard. At the same time, working hard,
Mhm.
he drinks quite a lot.
That's a
And okay, Check what he eats.
See.
He eats things like bourbon biscuit and a juicy cool. You know,
You're not taking care of his health.
he don't get the kind of rest that. What do you expect?
Me, I don't expect nothing.
You know,
No, you see, the thing is, I don't even know how to explain it anymore. I totally understand what you're saying, don't get me wrong, because you see a lot of men out there and they're well dressed and looking as though they have it going on. And in the back of their mind, they see that, and that's why we have a lot of men going to the rum shop and drink more alcohol to compound what it is that they are going through, and that is not going to make it better. But I think we need, really and truly, we need therapy so that men can speak openly about what is going on. Because if we have therapy like group sessions and you have 10 men, that means 10 men are going through what you are going through. And if they want to go outside there and say, well, Loxley and Jester came to X and Y, came to therapy.
I prefer you use that.
Everybody figured it. Everybody figured it. They say X and Y.
Use an example. Use X and Y.
X and Y is going through this. So if you go out there and say X and Y, how do you know if you weren't there? So that means you are going through it too. So I believe personally that if you have group therapy and everybody is explaining what it is that they're going through to that, it's very unlikely that W is going to go out there and say X and Y is going through. Because if X and Y get wind that W is saying that, when you're going to put out W too, well, what were you in this session doing also? So we need to be educated on this and speak openly about it.
Just sounds making a point.
I don't want to make no point.
Young man and so, and that's we have this fallacy among us as men that our health doesn't matter. I was reading something on the internet the other day about the effects of marijuana, and there was a new study that shows that marijuana affects the brain in teenagers more. It is more potent than we thought. But not only that, the use of excessive marijuana also affects.
Of course, it does. Yes.
Understand?
Mm-hmm.
But listen, when we talk about education, we have to tell our men function as a young man function is like going up a hill,
Mm-hmm.
reach a peak. So it is said that a man reaches his peak at about 20 to 24 thereabouts,
Mm-hmm.
and then he begins to come down the other side of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
But that descension is so slow that he hardly recognizes that, listen, I'm losing power here. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Like your batteries are going weak.
Yeah, he hardly recognized that because we have to be honest that how we performed at 22 is not the same way we performed at 28 or 32. You understand? So,
but that's a given.
So given, there's this joke that says that father told his son, like came and son told his father, Daddy, I made 10 ones last night.
Mm-hmm.
And the father said, I make one.
Okay.
The next night he said, Daddy, I make 9. The father said, I make 1. And it come down to when he couldn't make at all, and the father said, make 1, I make 1.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
So battery drain.
Yeah, so we have to understand that we need to take care of our bodies because at some point in time we are going to lose power.
Of course.
And
the thing is, somebody made a comment that says, if you really love each other, that should not be difficult to have a conversation about what you're going through. Is it about love or is it about ego? Answer me that. Because if I'm listening, I'm reading, if you love the person that you're with and the person know or you feel that, okay, this is my wife that I love so much, we've been going through a lot. Why is it so hard to tell her what you're going through now? Whether you're losing your manhood or you lose your manhood or whatever. Why is it difficult? Because you are in this together. It is not like just as a girlfriend on the side that you get up, you say, okay, I just drop her and I go, but this is wifey we're talking about.
Sex is an essential part of the package.
Oh, Lord.
It doesn't matter what amount of love. You all could be most loving couple in the whole wide world. It is just not automatic that once the person start to experience that, they will just come out one time and
No, we're not.
generally speaking, That's what man.
Saying, okay, you don't just go with erectile disorder. You get up one morning and you can go up and you think you fall down. You all fall down according to Tweety Bird. No, it's a process. You go through. Tonight you might make it. Tomorrow night you might go halfway. The next night you might go. And that's it.
Fine.
But
you know.
yes,
So you,
but
as my partner, you know. So if you know, if you recognize that, listen, something is wrong with my man here, something is wrong, then initiate the conversation or something and say, darling, what's going on? I realize such and such and such is the case. You understand? Because let me tell you something. Claire, you have to understand and you have to put yourself in mention. We give, you receive.
we give, you receive.
We give, you receive.
Vice versa.
So if we can, the point where we cannot breathe, maybe
I need to go and come again because I really and truly I'm lost. Ladies, I want you all to call. Please, somebody help me here. I'm fighting against somebody. Call Lorna, Jenny, Raya, everybody, Mary.
I understand the issue about love. And that's why I say sometimes it depends on the kind of relationship that exists between the two persons. But no matter, I agree with my partner, no matter the amount of love, this is a difficult thing to deal with.
We have to take a quick commercial break because with people paying for their ads, let's take a quick break and we will be right back. Because I'm telling you, this is going. I'm like, what's going on with it now? You don't want me to take the break, people. So we'll continue until it kick back. I think it's thing. We'll continue because it's not kicking for me to take the break here at all. So yes, let's go. I get what. Let me see. If you cannot perform, how did you at 22? Society has evolved. Get toys to assist you. We flute to.
That's another. That's another dimension.
In my week, my partner has to get toys to assist. Then that flies in my face. Man. That is a.
Okay. Hold it. It flies in your face if she has to get toys or something to assist. But it's not flying in your face when you're not telling us what's wrong with you. Answer this. No, I don't know. I have an idea, but it's sometimes it's an ask you make of you and me. I could assume that something is wrong with you, but you didn't tell me that something is wrong with you. Like he says, if you're going down the road and he bunks it to, I might see him limping. And I say, well, he might sprain your ankle or something. If he never said to me that, oh, Claire, bunks my toe. Bunks? You have to tell me you bunks your toe and why you're limping. So this is why I'm saying it is important. It is imperative for you to share with your partner what you are going through. Yes, there are those of us as women that makes life really, really hard for men, for some of the men, and they know what they've been going through with that man or how he's been treating them. And then you come home now and tell him, go out and go with the same people and that was you were having fun with. Don't come and interfere with me here. Some of us are like that. But those that are on your side, that is willing to support you morally, physically, emotionally, why is it so hard to tell me? That is my question.
You know what I wish we had?
What?
Statistics. What statistics I wish we had? The amount of women who stay in a relationship after they found out that they.
A lot of us stayed. 10 in 10 women stayed.
10 in 10.
Speaking about the toy, only over the weekend I was in a gathering and there was this lady saying,
we have a call. Let's take it. Come in, it's hot. Good morning, Duchess.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Claire, and how are you this morning?
I am on fire. I have two men that give me a hard time. I need help.
Good morning, Jester. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Good to hear. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yes, yes. It's been a while.
It's a pleasure hearing that voice coming across my head.
Well, Claire.
Yes, ma'am.
You sang with yourself this morning,
Well, I need. Well, you see the thing. I'm not a man. I don't know what they're going through. I want them to tell me.
Don't call on me for help, City. Sang with yourself this morning. Okay. I've been listening. I've been listening, and all that has been said, one thing come to my mind. I heard about stress. I heard about diet. I heard about everything. One thing come to my mind is knowing your body. Knowing your body. Where you leave and you go out there, and when you get back home, you notice that you're having a tinkling in the throat and you're not feeling well. So you tell yourself, well, I'm coming home with a cold, I must have got a virus. Because you were not feeling that way when you left home. You know your body. Okay? Right. You may get up. I'm speaking to you now. You may get up in the morning and you might be feeling that tinkling in the breast. You're feeling that tinkling in the breast. It lasts for about 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then you just brush it aside. And then it happened again. And then it happened again. That would arouse some suspicion. The tinkling in the breast. So that's why I say they should know the body. Now, as it relates to the male with the ED, ED don't just come on like that. You get signs. You get signs. And what happens is that they brush the signs aside. And it's when it's in full effect, that is when they realize, well, okay, I'm not able to function as I used to. And that is when it becomes embarrassing, and I would say embarrassing, to speak about it. But if they had paid attention to the signs, speaking about it would be much easier. The sign is that, okay, okay, you and your significant other is in the house. And by maybe she just coming out from the bathroom or whatever it's maybe, you might get a feelings, as you would see. You get that sexual arousal. You'll be sexually aroused. But all of a sudden, this is not happening. She's there. And this is not happening. You don't ask yourself, well, why isn't that happening anymore? Okay. You go to bed. And you know that when you go to bed, before anything, you up, you hard as labby rock and whatnot. But then you look there and you're doing your part, she's doing your part, and nothing. So then you resort to, I really want to know, but girl, I work hard today. So then again, the mind comes into play there now, because you're putting it now on work. You're not realizing that the body is giving you these signs, which you should take into consideration. Okay? You would go there and then you wouldn't say anything. You observe the sign, you wouldn't say anything, but you tell yourself, me, I don't want to lose my wife, I don't want to lose my woman. So I hear people talk about that. So let me go and try it. Let me go and you start going on your own. And sometimes it don't work for you. What may work for somebody, it wouldn't work for you. And it only makes matters worse for you. So that's why I'm saying we should know our body. It's just like when a woman is going through to menopause. She gets all the different signs. You understand? She feel like she could eat and she could just eat and she could eat. She getting these hot flashes. She's sweating. And think, oh, you make hot today. And so then we don't hot at all, no, but she's feeling hot. All these are signs. You understand? And it's because we do not pay attention to the signs, the warnings that, as we will see, and we wait until water more than flour. And that is when it becomes difficult for we to speak about it.
So let me ask you a question here. Without continue, Mr. Let me ask you a question here, right? So you rightly would have observed that how the man used to be functioning before you realize that is not happening any longer. So in that case, what do you think your role should be there?
I mean,
What?
that's again communication. That's where communication comes in. You have a good partner, communication comes in. So then what happening with you now? What
Right, that's you. That's the good thing about you in that case. You know what did my lady here say? She waiting on comment. That's the difference.
See, that
So I applaud you.
communication. You know, you're listening. Babe, what going on? What's on your mind? What's your studying? And what have I done? What have I said? Because you could have done something, you could have said something which throws him off.
I'm glad you're not following clear.
He's saying that you ask him the question of what's going on. In all honesty, he must come forward and say, I don't know now, I observe something else, girl, but I watching and see. I don't know. I observe I'm not myself these days. She goes, why you not yourself? And that is where the conversation lead from one end to one area to another. Okay?
Hold
But then
hold
on
it.
the other hand again.
Hold me here.
So,
Hold me here. You say that you're telling something must be going on and you don't really know what it is. You think they know what they're going through and you must have figured it out. But how is it that they are not opening their mouth still and tell you that this is what's going on? They say they don't know what's going on, they're going through something. What is it you're going through?
But Claire,
About me.
you see, in first instance, he cannot say, in the first instance, you don't expect him to go and say, hey, girl, I can't stand up again, I can't get hard again. No, he tell you, I'm going to something because in that case, he is observing the signs. And then you have to be gentle. You have to be honest with him. You have to be patient with him.
and in that way, you'll get the man to open up then and open up everything to you.
Get him to
Yeah. Well,
if when you realize, okay, that night you really wanted it, and the man can come up, and you start, yes, and you like you.
yeah.
True.
It matters what's true. He wouldn't want to open up and tell you anything now. He just try and fight it for himself, which is worse.
Well, my thing here is to play devil advocate this morning. I want to get it.
Sometimes, Claire, sometimes we as women have to take the blame.
True.
Speaking as a woman, sometimes we as women have to take the blame when the men end up with ED because sometimes most of us is the cause of it.
True.
Then most of us is the cause of it. You understand? As we always say, life is a two-way street. Yeah. Okay. When you're going through your menopause and think you have no zeal, you have no that, he would want to know what is going on. Just the same. You have to communicate with him and let him know, well, okay, this is why the body not feeling good. No, I don't know. I think today I was feeling hot. I'm sweating. You go to bed in bed and tell him, but I'm feeling cold, you say, you're feeling cold? How are you feeling cold? He wants to know what happening to you. You're feeling cold. You say, well, you must be sick or something. And then by talking, he will get to know, well, we're having a change in her body. You talking to him, you don't know, Lord, I wonder if is that what happening to him, boy? And you continue talking about it. That's why I said in the beginning is knowing your body because we get the signs and we don't pay heed to the signs. That is a big problem. We don't pay heed to the signs. And when things get turned old mass, water more than flour, we can't do this, we can't do that. We have fighting, we have quarreling, we have this and we have that to the other. Man can have sex the way you want it again. Tell him, man, I don't want you again. I don't want you again. Some like a gal will be opening up more better than me. It's all that kind of thing, but sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes again, the man is a reserved person. We know he don't like to talk much. You understand? You have to keep on talking with him. Well, what's going on, babe? What's going on? It was not like that before. What's going on? You may have to read a hard question. I mean, hard question. Have you seen somebody else? Okay. So then, okay, then, well, if no, what is it? What is it? Then you say, well, okay, what do you think about seeing a specialist, going to a doctor? Encourage him along the line because we know men don't like to go to doctor. They don't like to go to doctor. We like doctor to tell them this and to tell them that. So in that case, we have to be the counselor, we have to be the therapist, we have to be the physician. You understand? And encourage them along the line. It's not an easy thing. You wouldn't find a man just living and go on the blocks with a friend and tell him, boy, watch. I think I'm feeling down there.
The life is done.
Like a friend, and we say every good friend has a good friend. Good friend who think he might confide in and tell, boy, I don't know what's happening, And like the first thing they will say, they don't know what's happening. But this is what I experienced and I think about it, and I say, let me run it by you. He don't run it by him yet, and he run all what he telling me running all over the place.
It's true. There's no confidence in anything.
The man can that, the man so you have to tell yourself, well, yes, I'm going through that problem, but who am I going to speak to? I need help, but who am I going to speak to? And if you cannot get the help in the house, well,
Couple
It's as
puffs,
best
as
to
the couple smoke your pipe.
fight it yourself.
Yes.
Yes, it's as best to do nothing. And so it is something that it takes more than one person to handle it. The man cannot handle it all by himself. The woman cannot handle it all by herself. And if both of them tried and no success, then they need a third party
Quite true.
intervention.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Your contribution this morning.
It is to help them along the line. But as I said, Clay, if the man know his body, if the man know his body, he is a real man. He know himself. Once this thing starts stepping in, he would know.
True.
He would know.
True.
Because
True.
look at it again. You find these young fellas and them clear, they going and they drinking a set of rum, and smoking and tomorrow they bragging. By last night I eat it, boy. And they could only eat it and beat it under the rum and under the smoke. Under normal circumstances, they can't do nothing. Take them under normal circumstances and hear their response. Hear their response. But you fall asleep all the boy. That's what they say, you know. They go, I want night up there now, fall asleep all the boy. I well want to sleep. That is how they put in it. Because why? They allow the rum and the smoke and thing to beat it for them. See them.
Yes.
There is sleep in them. Do you understand?
What?
So when they don't know their body, they allow other things to take control of their body. When things are happening to them, they will know. They would know.
But thank you so very much. I mean, we haven't heard you for a while, and this is thank you for taking me out of my sandwich. I put myself in. Thank you so very much. Talk to you soon.
That is you and Jester only.
I know.
Yeah.
Your guest this morning, I didn't get his name. Morning to you, sir.
You may know who he is. You know.
Good morning.
He's Mr. Loxley John. What are you again, ASP? Superintendent of Police.
Photo, gentleman, and I say, what are looking at Loxley, so
It is him.
get the beard in the face. See,
Trying to disguise on you. Yeah.
morning, Mr. John.
All right. So we shall chat. Take care. Thank you so very much.
CJ, Mr. CJ Troublesome.
You have a love
Later.
and all the best for the New Year's.
While, but it was nice listening to the program today. I'm looking forward to 2025.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you so
Bye-bye.
very much.
All right, then. Okay,
Okay,
all the
bye-bye.
best.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Claire, very powerful contribution there.
Yes,
this
as
morning
usual,
from this
as
caller.
usual.
And as a matter of fact, right, she is helping me to cast out 2024 in a very nice way and getting ready to welcome 2025 with a contribution, I must say.
Mhm.
Claire,
Yes, sir.
that contribution and the question of knowing your body is important.
Mhm.
And let me throw something to the male. You cannot have proper sex on P erection.
Oh, okay.
So knowing your body would tell you that if you get up in the morning and you are not having a P erection,
Mm-hmm.
something is wrong. A P erection helps you know that you're still.
You still saluting like a corporal?
Yeah.
Or like a sergeant?
Well, if you get up in the morning and you realize morning after morning you don't have that P erection,
Mm-hmm.
something is wrong.
We have to take the commercial break now. And then we shall be right back. Okay.
Are you looking for a store where you can find almost anything? Well, look no further. Right here on Main Street Sautez in St. Patrick, Little England has it all, or almost all. They have everything 220. TVs from 32 to 75 inches, refrigerators, cookers, air fryers, electronics, toiletries, baby stuff, and even stuff for your pets. Come in for a visit and you're sure to find something. Call us at 473-421-8008. That number again, 473-421-8008.
Are you looking for that one local supermarket where you can purchase all the grocery and household items at the same time? Well, look no further. Smart Buy SA Dolphin and Company Limited, located at the top of the town on Main Street, St. Patrick, is the ideal spot. They're open Sunday to Sunday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. from Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturdays, and 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Sundays, just for your convenience. Call them today on 442-9219. That number again, 442-9219. We're shopping snacks at Snack Buy.
At Sugar's Repair Services, we offer digitally calibrated machines, resurfacing engine heads, general machinery. Show us your pattern and we'll make it with precision machines. At Sugar's Repair Services, we satisfy your needs. Just ask and it will be done. Call us at 473 418 1845. Sugar's Repair Services, located at Lower Marley, St. Patrick.
Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester.
And we are back. Now, look at it this way. It is now 11:26. It is like time for us to almost 12 because we're having fun. So we'll have to move along a bit. And there's the other part of it is the taboo in treating men's sexual, erectile, and mental health. I had to read because what Miss Ferguson did, she covered a whole lot of what we were going to talk about just now. So I'm hitting the taboo now. And it says stigma often keeps men from seeking out medical attention for sexual issues. That was a lot of what we spoke about earlier also. It says, on average, cisgender men in the United States die 5 years earlier than the cisgender female counterparts. According to Harvard Health, there are multiple reasons for this. And cis is the gender that you were given when you were a young child. Like if you had a penis, that's who you are. I had a vagina, this is who I am. So that's what cisgender means. It's not all the other gender business. So men generally work more dangerous jobs. That's one of the tab. Men die by suicide at higher rates than women. Men are less socially connected than women. Men generally avoid doctors more often than women do. Research shows that avoidance of medical help is a way for men to feel more masculine and in control. And you hear that? You all heard that? Anybody hear that? I'll go read it again. Research shows the avoidance of medical help in a man is a way for men to feel more masculine and in control. So if they do not go to the doctor or to any therapist and say, this is what I'm going through, they feel more manly and they feel more in control when they are out of control.
Yeah, it's a sad situation.
It is.
I think, we have to understand that we have the experts, and the experts should be able to help us. And so a lot of men you hear they say they prefer not to know because when they know,
They put a more mental stress on them even further.
not to know. But people have to understand that if you have people in your life, then what happens to you affect them. But I talked about the issue of blood flow earlier on, and a lot of men don't understand that physical activity, exercises
Helps
help, for
to increase your blood flow. Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, it's a, the caller made some uh, very interesting points, and so that are true. And I think when we, as men, when we understand the importance of this, well, we know the importance of this, but when we understand the effects that it can have on the relationship and household and things like that, I think we may pay attention to it. But we go back to the fact that
You cannot.
our partners need to be patient and understanding.
Okay.
You know.
So here is this now. It says, it is also reported that the subject, which is men, felt as though not seeking out help from anyone else was their way of acting responsibly and maintaining their masculinity. By taking matters into their own hands instead of relying on a medical professional, they feel stronger and more capable. It is often very difficult for men to pull down the facade of strength and masculinity when dealing with their physical health, but things really compound when we talk about men's mental and sexual health. In 2018, extensive review of 45 studies addressed the nexus between erectile dysfunction and depression in men. The findings suggested that men with ED are significantly more likely to experience depressive symptoms than those without ED. So if you according to people, if you fire on all cylinders and you do not have ED, you don't suffer from depression and anxiety attacks and so. But with ED, that is compounded when you have other things going on and that happening.
I think that's obvious. That
Well,
is
yes.
really obvious to me. Really obvious.
Let me ask you a question.
Would I be able to answer?
Putting you on the spot.
Okay, I do on the spot already. Do you sandwich myself between two of you already for the day?
What will you? You are
A vibrant person?
vibrant. Then what will you do when Mr. comes and Mr. just can't do it and you expect him and you what would you do
As a person, as an individual?
As far put it when really dead.
Look at it this way. What will I do? If you already told me that this is what's going on with you, I'm not expecting any miracles. As I said before, research has shown that there are other things that you can do to bring your partner sexual satisfaction than just penetration. So if you know, knowing is important. Knowledge is power. So if I already know that, then you don't have to be worried about how I feel or what I'm going to do. And because I already know, then if I don't know and you come and you're pretending that everything is okay and myself I go 12 at midnight, I will like Cinderella, I just have to disappear. Then that is even worse than you're not telling me.
Okay, you must.
I must know what?
A man cannot hide.
Well, the caller said that it did not just happen.
Yeah, it didn't just happen.
It's a process.
That's why you should know.
Well, I know. I know. And because I know, I'm prepared to know. Because I already know. The thing is, I know. So then I don't expect when you come and you are the one to put pressure on yourself now because you know what? You did not tell me. Even though you figure out that I must know that something is going on. But you didn't tell me, so you put pressure on yourself. Well, how is Claire going to react when I go to bed? What is Claire going to say to me? And all that. I already know. So you tell me.
No, we're not going back there.
No, we don't go back there. No. He asked me a question. Hush.
The caller already cleared up this whole thing.
You
just have a
if you tell me. No, but everybody here on the live is saying that if you tell me, you tell us, we are going to act differently. Then you come and you're playing, oh, I'm mature, and look at me and hear me roar, and I kill it this and I kill it that. You ain't kill squat.
So I think we're somewhat missing the point here. The problem is not about not telling you.
What is the problem?
It's about starting the process of opening up to you.
Well, that is telling me. Opening up to me, that means you're not telling me.
You hear the views of the
Yes, I did. But I could have my own views at the same time, same thing too. Because all women are not the same. We are all individual and you cannot put on one clothes on me and that makes it one size doesn't fit all. Just as with you guys.
But
one size don't fit all. And everybody is different. And everybody may look at it different and go through it in a different way. What I would support, somebody else would not. And that's the picture I'm trying to paint for you. If you say to me, as the person that is in your life, and okay, we have banking together. We go grocery shopping together. We leave for work together. All these are things that we do together. Why the heck that you're going through that and you cannot tell me that when we do everything else together?
Claire, when we discussing certain subject matter in relation to
To men.
men,
Mhm.
women, all right, we generalize. So out of 20 men, one may just come up and tell you, but the rest of 19 would not have that approach.
That's why it says, why do you choose to suffer in silence? Because you are suffering. Tell me that you are not suffering. Aren't you suffering in silence because you refuse to talk about it? You refuse to accept that this is happening to tell me so.
You try to
I don't try nothing. I say it straight up.
you try to compare
Orange and apple?
menopause.
No.
Menopause.
No.
Let me tell you. I know women go through menopause and nobody ain't talking, nobody heckling them on the street or anything like that. But let somebody know I can function. Hey, come.
You understand?
I think one thing we agree on
Mhm.
is that the partner
Needs to know.
is not just need to know, has a very important function to play in helping
Yes, I agree with that totally.
in this.
But if we don't know, we cannot help.
You will always know. You say you always know.
I know because I'm inquisitive and I fast and I want to know what's going on.
No, but come on. If I'm coming to have sex with you, I come tonight and I feel. I come again, I vomit early. And all this kind of thing. You must know.
Well, like I admit before, I know.
So I don't have to come and tell you, Claire, something is wrong.
Well, you got to say,
So you know.
Claire, you notice that everything is not okay with me, right?
Well,
then I would say, yes, I noticed. So tell me what's going on. But
and I believe there needs to be honest conversation.
Yes, you come right down to what I was talking about. Honest conversation.
You have to understand it is not easy to come.
Nothing is easy. Let me tell you something. Me personally, as a woman, feel, and I always say to Jester, I'm always upfront and honest in whatever situation it is that I am in. I'm honest. So I have nothing to be afraid of later on down the road. I'm honest. And I expect that of you. If you and I are in a relationship, and while the relationship is starting to go south, don't dangle me along, making me think that I'm there. And you already start going south. Come to me and say, you know what? I don't think this is working. Let's move on. That is honest conversation. And that is communication. Then I'm sitting there and you going about your business, and I don't know if you go about your business. But if you come to me and you say, this is what it is, you don't know how I'll react. You understand? You don't know if I'll say, well, you know what? I noticed this is going on a long time. That's cool. Or how could you stay so long before you tell me? What do you think I am? You get where I'm coming from?
That's the problem, because we don't know how you people would react.
You people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes, you people.
We don't know how other people react.
Well, then try us.
Somebody may just say, okay, honey, we'll get through this today.
Yes.
And a lot of women will say, like I handle that,
Yeah.
But then again, let's put it that way. Let's say the majority of women are saying that we cannot handle that. All men are men. They're all going to go through erectile dysfunction. All.
Yeah,
all. Every one of them.
No one wants to.
Well, hold on a second. No one wants to, but it's what I'm saying on our behalf. If you go with John today and John could fire on all cylinders today, next week he go in the same erectile, so you're going to keep going from person to person to person because you cannot deal with that.
Right.
We have to get it into our head. We as women too have to get it into our head that we cannot have it all the time. There are certain times that you have to deal with what it is that is coming at you. And if you're open-minded, and if the person that you care about is going through it, you should be able to care enough to go through it with the person. And that's my final thing on it.
So that when the rose will come in. But speaking about the rose, I was in
You want this rose?
I was in a conversation over the weekend. They say, and the lady, she has a partner, and she was saying she going to use the rose, but the man don't feel in her chest.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't know. Maybe too, and I don't know who the lady is. I don't want to know. Maybe too, the lady is starting to realize that the man has a problem.
No, not.
Hold on. Oh, not that lady.
That was Nikki.
Okay, so let me put it this way. Let me generalize it then. A lot of women know or feel that the men have issues and they cannot go the 30 minutes that we put you all under pressure to go. So they help themselves with the rose or whatever it is. Because a lot of women are under the notion that the partner is not satisfying them in ways and so. So men, research shows men ejaculate real fast and then you say vomit in 2 minutes or whatever it is. And women are left staring at the ceiling. So in order to bring themselves some satisfaction, they use rose and they use this and they use that. Not all women are into this.
But do you know,
No, I don't.
in the case where she made mention of, it was actually the opposite. She felt that the man would have been
You will take
and
it
she
down.
was
Well, you see, take too long.
that was one of the biggest
But-
jokes I got
But
over the
no.
weekend. That's serious.
Remember, part of the research shows that men that take that long time, like 30 minutes and so, I remember it says ladies' vagina has a limit as to how long they can go. You get dry, you're in pain, and all this kind of thing. And that's the reason why she says that it would take too long, because if she's not totally stimulated, Jester, she would not enjoy it. You come on, you all sitting here, you all know that.
That may be for you, but you have some testicles the other kind of you have. Let's move on, please.
Say that again, I didn't hear. What did you just say?
I said that might be for you, but there are some testes out there that they're not kiss with them.
No.
They want it rough and rough.
You need help. You need therapy.
Secret.
Yes.
A lot of people have the wrong ideas.
What sex should be all about? Yeah.
And so, but again, it goes back to because if she feels that the man is taking too long, as she told me, and you know,
Okay.
and but honestly, I would feel as a man, I would feel insulted
Okay.
if I'm lying here
Fair enough.
and my partner is using some kind of
The roses.
It's like she's seen him as a handball. That was one of the biggest joke I got over the weekend. I laugh, watch, and they take growing. Honestly.
I can't.
You see, I think too, again, it goes back to the sort of relationship you have with the person. It goes back to that because I don't think most women that are being satisfied is going to go to the rose and the whatever they go through and the wit and all that, and the man is lying right there. You see, I think I don't know. I really until I'm lost. I'm totally lost.
You see, you talk about satisfaction and you put the onus, the satisfaction is concerned completely on the man.
Okay, I remember my point
Not
now.
understanding that sex is a two-way thing.
Yes, my point came back to me.
And I always say, when I'm involved in this thing, my purpose here is to satisfy, and you should be looking to satisfy me.
Well, you are the first.
Because if I'm looking to satisfy me, it doesn't matter how long I take once I reach a climax. I nice.
But most men do that. You are different in that, and I applaud you for that. But most men they just go for themselves. And the point that you bring up just, and I just remember what my point is this: we are not mind readers unless I don't know we were made with special skills. And if you are in a relationship that is solid and so, you cannot. And I cannot tell you where I want to be touched or where I don't. You're not a mind reader. You won't be able to tell. And this is why a lot of women say, "Me, I don't know. You can't do nothing because." But you didn't tell him where you want to, where sends you off, where your erogenous points are that he can make you feel that way, and you can make him feel that way. And this is why you have to have communication, both of you, so that you will know what sends me off to the moon and what bring you to Mars.
A woman lack of romance and so this thing can always turn off a man, because
Well, yes.
It's not just me, it is you too,
And I just admit that. But then again, with the era that we grew up with, it was not about, sex was a taboo thing to us all growing up. It's like something you should not do it, or I don't know how to put it, but it's something that we weren't comfortable with. Let's put it that way. So it goes right into the relationships that we have. There are certain things men would want their women to do, and some of us say, "Not one heck of it, we ain't doing that."
Okay. Well, let me just butt in and say,
No butting nothing.
Roxley been saying a while, right? Now, if a man has his wife and then, they decide to go to bed, and then in about 5 minutes or so, he vomit. That might just be understandable with he anyway. But you see, we are appealing to the young people out there, and we have a number of young people that almost about 65% of our nation
67%,
is
it says here.
of youth, right? So for the youths that now engage in the relationship and things, I'm going to perform at least optimum about 15, 20 minutes. And you know what I mean? Especially if it's a first impression. You know how they say about first impression?
First impression doesn't always bring you good last
and let me tell you
impression.
something. The first impression, if a man goes there and he fail,
Well, yeah, failure for you right
such
through.
a judgment that will come in this young lady's mind.
Right through.
It is critical. So that's what I'm saying.
If you read as I do, sometimes you'll see first impression, people are so nervous that nothing happens properly.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to be patient with the person, because first impression, you're so happy, you're so anxious to get it done that that's it, you're done. But what I'm saying, and I get what both of you said to me, and that's why I said that it's great that we are doing this thing, because the younger people, if you're going to continue to take Magnum, Red Bull, Monster, and all those high energy drink, and then take Viagra on top of it, and take Cialis on top of it, and take marijuana off it, you would not perform regardless of how young you are. And that is where education is needed, because we want to perform so much and stay so long that we're taking all the wrong things, and this can make it even worse than what you're already going through.
Well, yeah, my advice personally, anybody using any
performance
sex enhancing kind of thing outside from natural thing, don't tell yourself
Sometimes
it will
don't go
last
there.
very long. No,
No,
it's
don't go
not
there.
a good way. Because trust me.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just enjoy destroying themselves.
And then you see these are the one, and that's where abuse come into it. Because when they realize that they can't go the distance, or they can't raise the head, as they say, they abuse their wives and their significant other, because you know what? I cannot do it. And sometimes the lady don't even watching nobody else. But if she talk to somebody, something is going on there, blows for all kind of wrong thing, all kind of mental abuse and emotional abuse,
just
and all.
maybe children.
Everybody. So this is why we have to have the open conversations with the persons that are near and dear to us, because if you don't and you come home and already know that you're going through this, and you're going through it, and I know you're having a hard time, but don't come and abuse me. I didn't cause that on you. And that's why a lot of women tell them off. With the weapon is the more they tell them off, don't come and do and tell me, go about your business, because they're coming home and abuse you. Because they're going in the rum shop and they're drinking all the alcohol that they could to come home to abuse me. And then tomorrow they tell me they're sorry and they go back and they drink more. Deal with the problem at hand. Let me know what is going on. And most women, if you grow up right, or you hang up properly, as you say, you would not abuse the person that you have in your life because they're going through this.
Yeah, I mean, and it really calls for understanding. It calls for patience. It calls for being able to fight this thing together. And I don't think a man who is going through this, any man who is going through this, should try to fight this on his own. I think the partner needs to play an integral part in this thing, because what can start as a just a temporary issue can end up being a chronic issue if you don't handle it properly.
Yes, yes.
And you don't want that to happen. Because there was a time when a lot of people thought that erectile dysfunction couldn't be cured.
It could be cured. Yes.
If you
But you have to do certain
allow it
things.
to reach chronic stage, then you're in trouble.
Yeah. But we must be honest too. A man that is going through erectile dysfunction, he will feel threatened at some point in time, especially depending on the age of his partner, and he might just be thinking, that way in truth, it creates a mental strain all whole. I ain't even getting into the details of it, but I know definitely it will bring on some severe mental strain.
Yeah, because if your wife or your partner is significantly younger than you, and that's why sometimes when people say age is just a number,
that's not quite true.
Quite true. There are some men who are old and they're functioning well. All right. But if your partner is significantly younger than you and she likes that and she's not satisfied with 1 year old and so on, you come and you're giving this halfway kind of thing, you're in trouble. And then you become, as just to say, sometimes you become, yeah. And if she's that outgoing kind of person and thing like that, you know what, it puts you on.
Yeah,
It puts
that's
you,
a lot of mental strain, right?
yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
So what you're saying that men in their quest to find someone, they should find somebody closer to their age group because the 10 and 15 and 20-year bracket is a wide range because as you say, if you like somebody that is significantly younger than you and you want to go out and so on, while you sit down and you say, I just want to chill and watch the stars and watch the sunrise and the sunset, it's going to be a different thing totally. So that again with the age supposed to be able to think differently because the older men that likes younger women, it to start off with it might be good, because you're treating the woman all the, but when you see you start to go south, it's south you're going for real because of the age that you are at. And this is something again we as women and men have to think about also because it will create an impact on you mentally. Because the older man now is going to watch his young wife tantalizing, as they say, dressing and go out, and he at home and she don't start him then because, hey, I'm going, you don't want to go there, I'm gone. And that's why a lot of people commit suicide or die by suicide or they murder the person that they think should be their partner for the rest of their life. So it's a lot of things to think about on both men and women's side.
Yeah, I believe it's a matter of, both um individuals in the relationship laying the cards on the table. All the do's and don'ts and what is expected, not expected in such situations.
But let me tell you something. When people are in love, as they say to begin with, they are admitting to all the do's and the don'ts.
Yeah, but if they're going into a marriage,
All the do's and don'ts going too.
you see, when you're getting into a marriage, I believe it's supposed to be a quite different thing. It's a step that is beyond, way beyond
But then,
just a mere
but then
boyfriend
just
sort of
the same
relationship.
person that you were
See?
dating and you give the do's and don'ts, that the same person that going into the marriage with you with the do's and don'ts. Why you think people that are dating, they do prenuptial to say, well, if you last with me for 10 years, you're going to get that amount of money. All that is because of the do's and we are not, we are known to be people that do not have staying power in relationships these days. So everybody wants to go. So that's what I'm saying. If you know you do not want children, and you marry me, not because I'm looking attractive and tantalizing, and you say, "Oh my, look, I end up with a nice woman. I don't want children." But you didn't tell me that in the first place. You have that in your mind that you don't want children. When you are married and you come and I say, "You know what, Loxley? I think it's time for us to start a family." You say, "From who?" And I said, "Family. Well, I don't want children. It's nothing that you should have told me before
yeah.
that you do not want children so that I know I'm preparing myself to be just you and me going right through. Or I'll say, you know what, I want children, so that wouldn't work. I'll find somebody that wants to have children with you or something like that. These are the things that we do not talk about and the things that we don't do. And that's why we end up in this situation. And that's why I'm big on saying that if you're going through a problem now, speak to me, tell me now.
I agree. I do agree with
Tell me now.
especially if it's not like very young people getting into a marriage because if it's young people like in the 19 the 20s, the foundation of any marriage actually is to start a family. Yeah, but if it's people that are in certain age group
People like you so old already. I mean, you can go and even start.
but I'm really, really pleased with my level of oldness as you
As
put it.
aging, not oldness. Age, old makes you
Old, so I'm using what you say.
old. Well, you old.
Only repeating what you said.
Yeah,
That's what I'm doing.
but seriously, we have to think about all of this to make an impact on what's going on. So it says here, in clinical practice, therapists find that when men's sexual prowess and mental strength are called into question, many report feeling emasculated as a result of societal pressures instilled in them from early ages. They commonly begin to avoid all intimate touch or even verbal expression that might be intercepted as sexual initiation by a partner. Societal expectations for men to be tough, competitive, emotionally stoic, and the primary breadwinners can cause them to neglect preventative health measures, especially when it comes to mental and sexual health. While the tie between depression and ED is apparent, our society still makes working through these issues even more difficult. Therapists should understand how to have clear, honest, and compassionate discussions with their male clients surrounding sexual wellness. That covers up everything that we did so far.
This is an interesting passage. And it goes back again what I was saying about society and the expectations of a man and how a man should perform and all that. You know, you hear men talk and they say like 5 rounds and five.
Maybe 5 rounds of ammunition, like that.
But let me tell you, you could make one
Good run.
solid one. Yeah. And you don't need that.
Yeah.
To me, correct. I find it hard after sex for my partner to just be staring at the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
If I went off finish, I should hear you snoring.
You should snore too. But you all let us be snoring and we
But
stare
that's
at
the
the ceiling.
point. That's the point. but no, it's you see society how we socialize. When men get on the block, what do they talk about?
Sex and women and rum.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
And there is an expectation that because if a man goes on the block and tells his friend, I don't only make one rum last night,
Mm-hmm.
and laugh at that. You understand? So the expectation and all that, and then you have some men who immerse themselves in pornography
Mm-hmm.
and believe they could do this foolishness they see.
And that is wrong on all fronts.
Yeah.
All fronts.
Yeah.
That is bad.
So they say,
Not to be that they're going to try to do that to the women that they have in their life and kill them. Or try to kill them at least.
So there is a lot of issues that are affecting men and can cause men to be in this situation that they're in. But I think with more education and so honest discussion like this, there was a time when even in the church you don't make mention of the word sex easy.
I know. It's a taboo thing.
I was given a joke once to say a pastor came and he said, listen, I would call a word and somebody would raise a song. So when he called a word, he say redemption, somebody raise a song with redemption. Call another word, love, somebody raise a song. Jesus loved me, he said. And then he said sex. And they said the whole church went quiet. And an old lady in the back, about 8 years, she started walking up to the front and she said, precious memories.
Yes, that's what the sex with precious memories. So yes. That's it. She lived it. She enjoyed it. So here's the conclusion, and then you can give a quick one. He says, so young men, if you're having trouble with the above, like everything, erectile dysfunction, erectile disorder, please seek help. If you don't take the initiative to do so, it will only get worse. And when you talk about worse, it's a chronic one, that it cannot be reversed. If you have the early stages of it right now, you can seek help, you can get help, it can be reversed, but once it's chronic, you're talking about 5 rounds now, you're not making half a round if you get chronic erectile dysfunction.
I would say, I would add the word professional before health.
Well, professional help, yes.
Yeah, because the thing out, some people feel like we go and do all kind of old thing that people try and experiment and feel it.
And then some end up worse than they are before.
Seek professional help. That is,
and I like that point, Jester. Like I told him he used, but he wasn't having any dysfunctional problem, but he just wanted to
experience what it is.
He said he used he picked up some goat weed or something. And he said he drank this thing and was riding on the bus and I lost that energy and he just started to tremble and water. And he realized even after he drank that and he still couldn't perform at this moment. So there are a lot of things. Exactly. There are a lot of things on the market.
Yeah.
That people shouldn't be using when they're having these things. It's always better to seek professional help.
The thing is, you could take whatever it is that you want. Like all these energy drinks that they have. It could put you on a high, but when it throw you down, blam, you're falling flat on your face.
But why do men go for energy drink when there's some natural weed and thing outside there?
The weed giving you the same thing
No,
too?
I'm talking about
Oh, you mean the bush?
Yeah.
Like what? Well, hey, we're doing education,
No, no, I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just saying that
Claire, come on.
we go for with all this, but we don't pay attention that we have some even for our natural health, even for ordinary. Like for instance, I was told that I had kidney stones, and I was, trying to drink all kind of thing, and a guy told me there's a tree with the seed grows under the leaf. They call it under the leaf, seed under leaf.
Uh-huh.
And that is so good for
stones.
kidney stones. And I see it in my garden there all the time.
Oh.
You understand? So sometimes we go and we want to get some things from this pharmacy and thing when we have all these things and sell it. But if we eat properly, men have to eat properly, we have to drink properly.
Yeah.
We drinking, we're killing our bodies.
Exactly.
I know. So it is, you wouldn't believe it is 12 noon. It was a very, very interesting one today on young men and erectile dysfunction. And I hope that the ladies that are listening and whoever is listening as a man, you could spread it out there that there is help for this thing. And the most important thing is to talk to your person that is near and dear to your body. It may be hard and it's tough based on what you two gentlemen keep saying. Claire, you can't just go and say this, and Claire, you can't just go and say that, and Claire, you this and Claire. But you can, if you talk about it, it may be easier than you think to deal with it. Speak about it to your person, your significant other, and whoever it is. And as you spoke about, if you're in a toxic relationship, then you shouldn't be in a toxic relationship for you to have to go through what you're going through and being ridiculed. If it's toxic, mosey on. Leave.
Yep. Well, Claire, today is the final day of 2024. In other words, we have reached at the point of the circle where we had started, and then from tomorrow, God's will, we're starting to make that one step on again. Around that circle, there are a number of activities that people are looking to go out. People do welcome the new year in different ways, in different forms. Whatever you choose to do, we urge you to do it in moderation. We wish that there will be no form of accidents or incidences that we'll regret, no violence or such. And I know around this time a lot of people do make a lot of resolutions, as they say, but something I always remember, I don't know if Loxley had remembered that, because Loxley and I went up in Forms in our college together. When we were in Form 3, I remember our chemistry teacher, that's Devanson Lamont, may so rest in peace. So sometimes when we believe we could just get over things all of a sudden, it don't happen. I remember he wrote up on the board the word habit. And then he removed the H. And then he said, when you take off the H, right, you're left with a bit. He then removed the A. I say you're left with bits. And he said, when you take out the B, you're still left with it.
You still have the habit, yes. And that's quite true.
It's not all that easy to, after you're setting certain patterns that you just all of a sudden need to just, so.
Well, let me say thank you to each and every one of you that checked in today to take 5. And remember to take 5 to breathe, to relax, to meditate, and to do all the things. And remember, always treat people the way you want to be treated and be your best you, regardless of what it is that you're facing. Welcome to 2025. We'll be back next Tuesday, God's will, with another interesting program on Take 5. You will be back at work, I think.
Yeah.
So I'll have to find another man to come back and leave me something. Thank you all very, very much.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome